So I ain't gonna be out here all the time talking to you and making videos and all the rest of that. That's not, I ain't gonna be out. That's not what we're doing here. But there are those things, there are those areas of critical thought that are missing. One of the things that we fail to do is the lessons learned. Ask the average person, what was the lesson learned in Tulsa, right? What was the extracted lesson? And very few can actually come up with an accurate answer, right? They'll say, we need an army, and that's not the answer. Very few have ever actually done lessons learned. It's okay to fail, right? But it is a foolish man that fails to benefit from his own mistakes. It's a foolish man who fails to benefit from their own mistakes, right? And so, again, the lessons learned is vastly important in relation to anything that happens, right? It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to fail. What is important is that you take a lesson from that, you get back up and you succeed, right? So the question is, all power to the people is what the Black Panthers said. All power to the people. What did that really, really mean? What did that really, really mean? And what is its application to every people on the planet Earth, right? Because again, I'm a big fan. Truth is an absolute value, right? You've heard me say it before. Truth is an absolute value. It must be able to withstand 360 degrees of scrutiny and remain true in order for it to be called true, right? It's an absolute value. So if it is true for me, then it must be true for the Russian. It must be true for the Chinese. It must be true for the El Salvadorian. It must be true for everyone. If in one single instance we find that it is not true, then the thing itself cannot be called by the label of true. True is an absolute value, okay? That being established, when they said, all power to the people, what does that mean? So today, in India, in Russia, and in all over the world, you have the people that are going to their governments and begging them to change something, to produce conditions conducive to their thriving, right? The people of the world are all going to their governments with complaints, right? You're not doing this correctly. You're not serving us correctly. Everywhere, right? Ecuador, all over the planet Earth, the people are at their governments. But can that work? Like, how much time? First of all, look at the governments and look at the government structure, right? You look at these governments and the participants are all well paid, right? They got health insurance that you don't got. They eat in ways that you can't. They've got security when they go out, right? The governments of the world and those who are in those governments are living very well, and they are not reflective of the population that they are supposed to be serving, right? So now the people line up in Russia, in Ecuador, in France, right? In the UK, they line up and they take to the streets and they protest and they scream and they march and they whine and they demonstrate their frustration with the government that seems not to be able to hear them. And so as they do this, as they expend this energy, what is the absolute best thing that could possibly happen? The best thing is that at some point, the members of that government recognize their humanity, listen to them, and put a solution in place. But that's a temporary stopgap, because tomorrow there will be another complaint. There will be another human rights issue that the government is not maintaining for the people. The government is not serving the people in the way that they want. And so the people will again take to the streets and they will protest and they will complain about their government and their government's not serving them, right? Well, the issue is this. You can go and protest, and you can cry, and you can whine, and you can march, and you can die. But there's no amount of your deaths or your cries that can force them to do for you, right? It's an option for them. They don't even have to hear you until you take to the streets in millions, right? They ignore you. They can ignore your cries. Why? Because they don't actually work for you. They're working for a paycheck. What you got messed up? What did you get mistaken? They're not working for you. They're working for a paycheck. I don't care who we talking about. I'm talking about the government in France. I'm talking about the government in Ecuador. I'm talking about the government in Russia. I don't care what political strain they call themselves, whether it be capitalism or socialism, whether it's democracy, it doesn't matter. Those governments are not working for you. They're working for a paycheck, and they're paid very well, right? So they don't have to hear your cries. Those things that are bothering you don't bother them, right? And the only time they will pay attention and satiate the people, right? They're not going to solve the problem. They can't solve the problem. The only time they will pay attention is when there's thousands of you running through the streets, breaking up stuff, right? That's when they'll say, okay, wait a minute, we need to do something. And the reason that they need to do something is because they need to stop you from revolting. They need to pacify you so you shut up and go back into your cities, right? And go back home and continue doing what keeps them eating well and incapable of relating to what affects you. So the Black Panthers coined a phrase, all power to the people. Why is this relevant? Because as I'd mentioned, and again, if I'm wrong, please, hey, I'm open to it. I'm not a proud man. I'm not a proud man. I can't afford pride. So if I'm wrong, you tell me I'm wrong. Anybody I'm open to that. Okay. Now, but if we have just discovered that all of the whining and the crying and the dying and the marching and all of your efforts, you've seen people go and light themselves on fire at the Mall of America. Did it change the system? Did it change the way the system works? Did it make the players within your government change one thing that they do? No. If we've just discovered that the government does not work for you, does not owe you, and does not recognize your humanity, how many years can you spend begging, marching, whining, crying, and dying before you can change it? It's a trick question. You can never change it in that manner. Yes, go get elected. Yes, put people in office. Sure. Does that change it? No. Representative Congressman John Lewis, Congressman, what was he? What was he? John Lewis? This man spoke so very well before he got a job. Look at John Lewis before he got a job. Every single time you heard him speak, he said the word freedom. Every time. If you go back and look at John Lewis before they gave him a job, every single time he spoke, he said the word freedom. As soon as he got a job, he stopped saying that word. He stopped saying that word. He started saying good trouble, right? He stopped saying freedom. So the idea that you could put somebody into the meat grinder and they're going to advocate for you and they're going to save you is foolishness. We might as well call on Jan Michael Vincent. You cannot change that system. It's the model. It doesn't serve you, you serve it. So back to all power to the people. What did it mean? It means, see, when I went into Tanzania, I noted that the people were complaining that the water was dirty. I saw the brown on their teeth, right? And the water was dirty, but they had no choice, right? Because it's a matter of survival. They had to drink that water. But they've been petitioning their government for a long time to do something about the water, right? To solve the basic water. And the government optionally can listen or not. This is not different in France. This is not different in Russia. This is not different anywhere on the planet Earth. The government can choose to listen to you or not. Okay. So in Tanzania, they're dealing with this dirty water. I recognize that. And I began to teach the people around me how to create activated charcoal and how to build a water filter to clean it for themselves. So if we go through any society, Russia, China, India, Africa, America, we go through any society and we identify what are the issues that the people are complaining about. What are the issues? Well, if you can identify the issues, from there, what you have the ability to do is create for yourselves the curriculum necessary to port empowerment to the people. So if the people of Tanzania all know how to filter their own water, then they stop asking the government to solve the problem because they have solved it themselves. All power to the people. If the utility companies have not thought in advance to weatherize their equipment in Texas, and you find that the power is sketchy. If you're in Ghana and you find that the grid ECG is sketchy and they're not able to provide the services to the people that they say they are and the people that are paying for it, then you empower the people to be able to produce their own energy using wind, solar, and hydro sources. All power to the people. Suddenly the people no longer are asking their government to solve their utility problems. If the issue is supply chains and food, then you empower the people. If you teach the people how to produce their own food with what they have right now, all power to the people. The people stop turning to the government in order to solve their food problems and their supply chain issues. And in each and every single area and every single country in the world, if you go and define what are the complaints of the people, what are they looking for, what do they need, it is not a handout, it is education. So if each man and each woman can control for themselves their own water, their own utilities, their own food, their own shelter, their own health care, suddenly they have no more requests of the government. And this is the only possible way that you can force those governments of the world to turn back to the people and say, well, what can I do for you? Because you've already solved your most critical issues. Each and every one of you is feeding yourself and you don't need me. Each and every one of you is cleaning your own water and you don't need me. Each and every one of you is providing your own utilities and you don't need me. If you eliminate the need for those governments, it is the only way you can make those governments again serve you. There's no other way. All the crying, all the dying, all the begging and the marching will not make the governments serve you. The only thing that will is for you to remove your dependency on them. And it is at that point that they will spin back around and come to the people and say, damn, what can we do? You see, all power to the people. This was the brilliance in that statement. And again, we don't do the lessons learned. So we didn't really kind of dig through that and unpack that and understand what was actually being said. It is the singular truth that transcends people, continents, geographic divisions. It doesn't make a difference where you are. Your government does not serve you, and you can never beg them to do so. The only way you do it is by serving yourself, empowering the people. If the people are empowered, then they no longer need those governments. And that is the scary, scary thing across this planet Earth. And so how do we get to that place? I don't sell you the idea of how to grow your own food and how to produce living walls. I don't sell that to you. I don't sell to you how to produce solar power. I don't sell to you how to filter water for yourself. I give it to you. And if each and every one of you, is able to filter and control your own water, if each and every one of you is able to produce your own food, if each and every one of you is able to produce your own power, if each and every one of you can triage your own health needs and solve those problems, if each and every one of you are independent and self-sufficient, then the governments will be forced to their knees. Then they will have to come ask you, what can they do for you? But there's no other model. There is no other possible way. There is no other possible way. Elect everybody in your family, elect Ray Ray and Pookie, get them all in the office. And guess what? Ray Ray and Pookie will turn into the machine. They're not going to change the machine, right? So it doesn't really matter, right? There's only one way to do that, and that is through all power to the people. You empower the people, and the governments will bend. This was the most scary and a revolutionary thought. This is why the Black Panthers were so under siege and eventually destroyed, because the thought itself is so revolutionary, and it again transcends geographic consideration, it transcends race, it transcends every division. It transcends all of that. You cannot beg your government. You must force your government. And you do that through empowerment, not chanting and marching and voting and all. No, you empower the people, all power to the people. Revolutionary. Peace.